So we all know El Chapo, after a successful show trial in New York, is serving life no parole in the Alcatraz of the Rockies, aka Florence ADX. And so the Sinaloa cartel is over, right? Laughing emoji, laughing emoji. Not only was El Chapo's conviction meaningless, Mexico, in fact, has descended even further and further into the narco-mafia's total grip. The number of MURDERSs was at an all-time high in 2018, and 2019 is on pace to be even higher. As the price of opium falls by as much as 90% in some areas of Mexico, and remember, opium's turned into H and opium grows into Mexico, and this is caused by the popularity of the synthetic, and has long accounted for over half of cartel profits, dwindles due to quasi-legalization in the US, narcos are turning into Italian-style mafias. For example, did you know that the price you pay for avocados and limes in your local supermarket are highly inflated by extortion in Mexico? Less money from dope means putting the squeeze on farmers at the market, extorting a fee for every lime and avocado. Now, among many people still directing traffic from Sinaloa and raking in millions a day is El Chapo's own son, Ovidio Guzman Lopez. And Ovidio is wanted in the US and Mexico for his part in the ongoing operations of the Sinaloa cartel, as well as his past actions. Late last week, Mexican authorities attempted to take Ovidio into custody, and it didn't go so well for El Gobierno. They pulled up to a compound he was hiding in the city. Well, he probably wasn't hiding, he was just living in the city of Culiacan, the capital of Sinaloa state, and the birthplace of the entire Mexican narco-mafia culture. Firefight ensued. El Gobierno actually succeeded in grabbing Ovidio. They took him into custody, but then the vastly superior forces of the security group protecting Ovidio from the Sinaloa cartel arrived. And obviously they were well trained in situations like this, and the Sinaloa sicarios quickly established 17 choke points staffed by pistoleros around the area, and the army was forced to let Ovidio Guzman go free. They released him. Fighting raged for hours after Ovidio Guzman Lopez was found in what said was a routine patrol in the city of Culiacan. Of course, that's not true. Armed men were seen firing on they were strewn on the road, and the authorities withdrew without Mr. Guzman in their custody. They let him go to avoid further violence, officials said. 15 or so total casualties were caused, almost all of them belonging to the Mexican state. Mexico's security minister, Alfonso Durazo, told Reuters news agency that a patrol of a lawyer for El Chapo's family told the Associated Press, Ovidio is alive and free. And Mexico's president, Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, said he would hold a meeting of his security cabinet to discuss the incident. Witnesses described scenes of panic in the city, which is a stronghold for the Sinaloa cartel, as families with small children fled. But have no fear, my fellow victims of Mexico's narco cartels. Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, who was accused of in El Chapo's trial, but that's another story, is holding a meeting of a security cabinet to discuss the incident. On Monday, President Obrador of Mexico said the government still intends to arrest Ovidio Guzman, son of Sinaloa cartel co-founder El Chapo, once it can do it safely and not risk the lives of innocent people. Well, when will that be? So Mexico's new president, Obrador, announced yet another plan: send in more troops to Culiacan. But a couple days ago, more than 400 soldiers turned up in Culiacan after the incident with the video. and the Sinaloa Sicarios had taken control of the city, forcing the official government forces to flee the whole city of Culiacan after their botched attempt to arrest Guzman's son. Quote, "We are going to protect the citizens. That is our mission," said General Carlos Ramon Carrillo de Villar, who oversaw formations of soldiers marching at a media event. Well, that's not taking him into custody, that's having a press event. There were convoys of trucks mounted with machine GUNSs rumbling through the Culiacan streets, and those were meant to assuage the fears of Culiacan's residents. However, a national poll on Monday showed that 2/3 of respondents in Mexico believed that the narco-mafias were more powerful than El Gobierno after this fiasco last week when the army had Ovidio in custody and then had to let him go. You would think that El Chapo's son was at least lying low after this near escape, but apparently not. Just 2 nights ago, he was pulled over riding in a car at a checkpoint. "We're Ovidio's people," the driver told the troops at the checkpoint, and another motorist made a recording of it on his phone of the moment when the driver told the cop he's with El Chapo's son, "We're Ovidio's people," and then the cop says, "Safe travels," and waves him through. Keep in mind that the new president of Mexico, Manuel Obrador, was accused by Chapo's high-ranking underlings of massive just last year in El Chapo's trial in New York. Obrador, though, has told the Mexican public he will arrest Ovidio, but apparently that message from the most powerful man in the country hadn't made it down to the troops in Culiacan, who waved Ovidio through and said, "Safe travels." And that's what's going on in Mexico with the Sinaloa cartel and El Chapo's sons. Stay tuned for another update on the Sinaloa cartel and the situation in Mexico. And I think I'm going to go down to Tijuana before I go to Detroit, or maybe when I go back. I've been there before. It's kind of a bad place when I went there. You know, you're in the cabs. You see the cab drivers looking in the rear view mirror, you know, looking at you. We were staying at a nice hotel downtown. Some white man who was clearly like a U.S. federal agent asked us, "So what are you guys doing in town?" We were like, "Oh, we're just sightseeing. What are you doing?" And he said, "Business." So I said, "Oh, what kind of business?" And he said, "Business, business." And he left. So I figured he was a Fed. Anyways, stay tuned for part 2 of the El Chapo update and some other big announcements, including me. I was gonna go with the Patreon, but I'm gonna do this YouTube channel membership, because so much of my stuff is not getting monetized, and I know you want to see all the things that I can do. American Dope.
Shout out to American Dope, man. Apparel coming, man. Everything.
My name is Rio June, and I was Miss Japan for 2000.
Today on Money Machine, we're gonna show you how to sell art out of a truck.
This is Miles High from Money Machine TV. Here on my homeboy Nutty on this art truck. A lot of people probably don't know what an art truck is. Think of like a food truck that you might see on the street, but instead of selling food,
got me looking like
it's art for sale.
Me and Brandy fuck with the dope spot all the motherfucking time. This nigga be everywhere, and I fuck with the nigga, but he don't fuck with us.
I was selling art in the streets of Detroit.
Nine times out of 10, the things they're talking about are things that someone who is close to them or someone they look up to had done. And they take on these personas or some of the activities and actions of these personas, and they attach them to their own, but the people who really done those things have had to bear all of the burden that comes along with those actions.
The physical process of this is basically, these are, you call them like wheat paste prints. They're basically architectural prints. So they're like...
And how many did you have to print out?
For each mural, let's see with this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I printed out probably 10, and it looks like I used 8 in this one. I used more in the other one because it's a little bigger.
Adam, what's going on?
Nothing much. Resining. We're doing resin, art resin.